For nearly 50 years, Town & Country Sports has been the heartbeat of youth sports in North Austin, promoting fair play, sportsmanship, and most importantly, fun. TNC Sports is for kids of all ages, no matter the skill level, and we encourage the whole family to get involved. Right now, registration is open for soccer, flag football, baseball, girls volleyball, softball, lacrosse, and more. Space is limited. Don't wait. Sign up today at tncsports.org. TNC Sports. Come play with us.
Hey, Stephen. Well, some big news is out there. Judge's ruling could lead to billions in damages as worst-case scenario rears head for the NCAA live on CBS.
Yeah,
here we go. What a big deal this is, because the judge has agreed to see this case, and it is a case that has been brought forth that during the time that NIL has been in play, what they're saying is like that they haven't been able to get to the monies because of restrictions from the NCAA. That's paraphrasing. Yeah. And oh, by the way, the judge that's hearing the case is the judge that ruled on the NIL case in California.
Yeah.
Same judge.
Yeah.
So they've got a friendly ear, and man, it does no harm to the plaintiff on this one.
Yeah. Well, Coach, I'd love to go back to episode 1 or 2 or 3. We predicted this. We knew the courts were going to get involved, and everything that's going on now, all of this representation of what the NCAA is not doing right, what the universities are faced with, what the athletes are saying. We've been talking about this for 6 months.
Yeah, and it's, Congress doesn't want to touch it, right? And so the only avenue that's really out there is going through the courts, whether it's state or federal. And right now they've got that friendly ear. And, when there's no precedent set, whatever happens in these court cases is going to start setting precedents for, what could happen afterwards. And there's lawyers that are deep in NIL going, the NCAA should be settling every single one of these things because they do not want this to set that precedence.
Well, and this is why Baker had to go to Congress, is he wanted to change the law. That's the only way he could succeed. The damages with the courts, the way the court's approaching it now, they're much more friendlier to this type of lawsuit than they probably were, 40 years ago when this all came about. And that, to me, is why Baker just felt like he had to be in the court system to win. But guess what? He had to be in front of Congress to win versus the courts. And guess what? The courts have come after him, and the clock is ticking, and it's loud, and there's a time bomb attached to it, Coach.
It really is. And I mean, in this article, it goes on to say that probably wouldn't be seen and or heard until 2025. So, you got to think that Baker, is going to be just like, beating on doors and trying to get in, but we're in an election year. I mean, to me, the way I see him played is the only avenue, as you rightly pointed out, that he could gain traction quick would be go federal. And then, that would be something that he could come back to as a precedent, but he can't get this before anybody to even get a vote because we've got so many other things in front of it that, nobody wants to touch this right now.
Yeah. Yeah. No, Coach, this is, I'm hearing the bell, and the bell is ringing loudly, and it's ringing for the NCAA. This, when you dig into this, now the universities are really at risk because triple damages ends up being a huge amount of money, and $4.2 billion. The NCAA doesn't have that kind of money. So now we're really talking about some significant impact on what the NCAA is going to be able to do.
Well, you're really talking about, a company breaker with that kind of those kind of damages and stuff. the NCAA can't sustain something like that. You know, you're looking at something that would, foreclose, shut them down, fill in the blank of however you want to say it. But there's no way that somebody could sustain something like that. I mean, so the NCAA would really be in a tough place to exist after something like that, just from a financial standpoint.
Yeah, I love the quote from Thomas Barrs, attorney out in Arkansas, who said, the problem with organizations like the NCAA deciding to fight until the last dog's dead is that sometimes they end up being the last dog.
It really does. I mean, and right now, you know, I'll say it out loud for everybody in the back of the room to hear. You know, this has been something that a bunch of men have sat around and controlled for since its inception, and you know they have enjoyed the fruits of their labor, and they took a lot of resources away from a lot of people that probably deserved them, and now those resources are going away, and you know it's come time to pay the bill, and everybody at the table is looking at each other, and they don't have a lot of money to be able to pay the bill, so to speak.
Yeah. Well, that good old boy network is getting shut down. It's lost its ability to control, and the universities have got to take a serious look at this. They cannot risk being a part of the NCAA if this is the kind of lawsuit that they're going to be faced with.
It'll only take one victory, and then that's it. I mean, because at that point, you know, you said it, the universities are going to look at this and say, well, you know, we just want to be able to play. We can play in the college football playoff model. We don't need this NCAA model to be why are we paying these people for this? You know, and it's like, we're paying these people for chaos. Well, we could do that on our own and not lose $4 billion.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the times are changing, Coach. I think this is it. I think we're going to see some real impact fairly soon. It'll be interesting to see how this rolls into 2024.
Yeah, we'll see. And you take moments like this, and you take like the portal opening up, and you take like college football playoffs happening and March Madness happening in the next 6 months, and you have a perfect recipe for disaster.
Just not in my backyard.
Yeah.
Hey, we all have hectic lives, and buying or selling a home can just make things even more of a chaotic mess. If you are moving to the Austin area, what would you need to get comfortable with that decision? Even if you lived in town and you needed to purchase or sell a home, how would you want to be treated? Chris Ott with the Ott Group of Keller Williams Realty has been a longtime friend and was the guy who I worked with to find the perfect property solution for me. I wanted a professional with knowledge of the Austin area to help me with my home search, navigate the paperwork, and negotiate on my behalf. And Chris Ott was the right agent for the job. Chris, his business partner, Teresa Ott Busseau, and their team of 5 agents have helped thousands of people move to and from the Austin area. The Ott family is celebrating over 35 years in business in Austin and plan to provide their real estate services for many more years to come. Their mantra is, your move matters, and that is what they focus on. Just go to their website at theottgroup.com and get connected with the Austin real estate team dedicated to taking care of you. That's THEOTT group.com. You can also call 512-222-6881 or email them at info@theottgroup.com to get connected with them today. Tell them that Stephen with the Parent Portal Show sent you, and start working with a professional who is dedicated to your next move.